Good evening, Summit Hill families, and welcome to the pre-recorded presentation for Curriculum Night. I hope all of you are able to make it to Curriculum Night tonight, but for those who weren't able to make it, we're going to upload this presentation to the Summit Hill website. So we have two agendas. Basically, on Monday night is for K1 and 2. There is a 4:30 meeting for kindergarten parents. And on Tuesday night, Curriculum Night is for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade parents. And 5th grade parents at 4:30, we had an informational meeting for you about Rock Eagle. If you weren't able to make that meeting, please touch base with your child's homeroom teacher. So I wanted to take a moment to spotlight, first of all, our PTO and our School Governance Council. If you haven't already had an opportunity, please visit the SHE PTO website. It is a wealth of information. A calendar is there with all of the events, not to mention volunteer opportunities. The PTO supports staff and student in so many ways, in resources, materials, and supplies. And so your funding to them always goes to students and staff. So I hope that you will consider becoming a volunteer and joining the PTA and supporting their efforts. We couldn't do it without them. Another entity of Summit Hill that's very important is our School Governance Council. Our School Governance Council are a panel of both elected and appointed community members, teachers, and parents. And the School Governance Council's job is to work with the principal in a different way that PTO works. So PTO raises their own funds, and they use that funding to support Summit Hill in resources, material, and supplies. The SGC works with district allocated funds, and they help to look at our trends. We dig into data, and we look at how the best way to spend the allocated funds from the district to support our staff and students. So each entity works together, but they do have different roles. And I would encourage you also to go to the Summit Hill website to look at the Summit Hill Governance Council Corner. As well, consider coming to a meeting. We meet every single month, and public is always invited to sit in and listen in on those meetings. As well, when we have our elections, if you are interested, I would hope that you would ask questions and put your name in the hat to run for a position. So our members of our School Governance Council are shown above. We also are going to have a spotlight board that will be in our atrium right as you enter the front doors. It'll be on your right-hand side, and it will depict the pictures of the School Governance Council members as well as PTO executive board members. And we want you to know who the people are working on your behalf. So that the board will be up very, very soon, and we hope you'll stop by and check it out. I also wanted to take a moment to kind of spotlight our houses. For those of you who have been at Summit Hill for a couple of years, our 4-house system has been reduced to 3 houses. Our houses now align with our Summit Hill strategic plan as authored by our School Governance Council. We know that our strategic plan is very important in driving our school toward success for students, staff, and community. Therefore, we wanted more buy-in from all of our stakeholders, and we recreated our houses to mimic our strategic plan. So our blue house, our House of Creators, aligns with our student achievement goal for our strategic plan, and our creators are always working to find new and innovative ways for students and staff to teach and learn so that we're engaging students in the most meaningful academics possible. Our house, which is colored yellow, is our House of Friendship. It aligns with our culture and collaboration goal in the strategic plan. We want Summit Hill to be a place where parents, families, teachers want to be. Our students, the house is committed to helping students to feel welcome and feel a part. So everybody has a job and everybody's important in the House of Friendship. The House of Unity is colored red, and it aligns with our community strategic plan goal. Our community is so supportive of Summit Hill. Our House of Unity helps students and staff to find ways to give back to the community. We have a lot of initiatives where we raise funds, we bring items to give away. So always check the Hilltop happenings each week. The She Shares is where I talk about some of the initiatives that the House of Unity are driving. So each house has a different role, and we will post more information about our house system, but I hope your students have come home excited about their house, and we'll be sharing more and more information about our houses as the year goes along. As you know, we're Leader in Me School. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, as authored by the late Stephen Covey, is a very, very meaningful part of our school culture. We talk about our habits daily, and we incorporate our habits into our house system as well as our culture and climate at Summit Hill. We encourage families to buy or at least check out of your local library. We are partners with the Milton Library, and we are excited about this partnership. We encourage you to check out a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Families. It goes right along with our Leader in Me work that we do at Summit Hill, and will help your family to grow and be involved. I wanted to take a moment to talk about my philosophy of education. As your principal, I lead the school in instruction, in financial decisions, and in all that we do to build our capacity for staff and students. And my philosophy of education is very simple. I feel like there is a triangle, if you will, which surrounds children from the time they enter school in kindergarten until they complete college, even advanced degrees in college. And there are 3 entities which really impact that child: school, family, and community. And when I speak of community, I'm talking about peer groups, I'm talking about church, I'm talking about any groups in which they become a member as they grow older. In the beginning, when children are in K through 5th, school and family have a lot of say, if you will, about a child and his or her growth in academics and in life. So it is very important that we, you, and the staff at Summit Hill combine as partners for those children. So having a math background, as you know, I understand the principles of engineering, and a triangle is the strongest structure that we have to support. When a triangle has at least 2 equal angles, then that triangle becomes very strong, almost impenetrable. So for me, school and family being very strong in a student's life gives that child the best foundation as he or she grows. School and family become maybe less impactful in the social and emotional learning, and community becomes very impactful. And as that community impact grows, that foundation of school and family connects that child in a way that he or she will be grounded, know who they are, and be protected when those things come from life, as we know, that don't always go your way. So please join me in partnership, because I also know how important teachers are in a child's life. From my own story as a child whose parents, neither one graduated from high school, and here I sit before you, your principal, and I have a PhD. So that's teachers. My growing up background didn't include necessarily graduating from college, and certainly college never even came into our conversation a lot of times. But teachers in my life, from the very beginning, we didn't have kindergarten at the time I was going to school, but first grade was my first teacher, and that first grade teacher impacted me greatly, and I know how teachers made a difference for me. So when I became a teacher and taught for 17 years, and I've been an educator for 25 years, I'm very passionate about kids, and I'm very passionate about decision making in schools being about what's best for kids. We're not a one-size-fits-all school. Each child comes to us with a unique circumstance, a unique personality, unique culture, unique family. And I want every child who comes into Summit Hill to know how important he or she is, just the way they are. So if you haven't seen the TED Talk by Rita Pierson, it's a wonderful TED Talk. I would encourage you to look it up. But just as a teacher impacted my life, the staff and I at Summit Hill want you to know our goal is to impact your child every single day, so that as he or she grows, school is a very important part of that growing up process, and we will do our best. We thank you for trusting us, and we take that trust and responsibility very, very seriously. I would like to kind of transition to keep my presentation as short as possible. Some She Quick facts that you all have already been involved in. I am so proud of you parents. Our students have been on time almost every single day. We've had very, very few tardies during the first 2 weeks of school. Let's make that our culture. Students need to be here by 7:35 each morning. We start at morning our announcements at 7:35. They're greeted by a team of their peers, and I always speak to them. If I'm not in the building, Ms. Burns will step in and have a conversation with the kids. We want them to know how important they are to us every day, and learning starts promptly at 7:40. So please try to make it a habit every day that your child is in school to be here at 7:35. Safety is also very important to us, and we've put in a lot of safety factors. I hope you all understand why the safety is so important in a school, and if you have any questions about that, please always reach out. Very quickly, I want to go to the 10 days. As I said, the 10 days of school are very important in solidifying some of the routines and processes that we have in place, but it also is a very important time for schools because it's when our district allocates funding to us. So this slide that you're seeing right now kind of outlines for you our projected enrollment for 1920 was 744. Over the past 5 years, Summit Hill has met the projected enrollment by the end of the year. Each of those years, our 10-day count number has been low. Because the district bases their allocations and funding on the 10 days, our budget is adjusted as needed. Either we grow or we're reallocated, and a position might be taken. Some of the elementary schools around us are in the situations as well. So this is the same year to year in Fulton County. So for those of you in kindergarten, you will hear me talk about this every year because I want to keep you in the loop in the information. So the budgets for the year are proposed in February. So in February, we are allocated 6 kindergarten teachers, 6 first grade teachers, 5 second grade teachers, and my brain is thinking, 6 third grade teachers, 4 fourth grade teachers, and 5 fifth grade teachers. When the 10-day count numbers rolled around, we were preparing for that in the spring and also in the summer. We knew that our allocation for kindergarten would not come to 6 teachers. Our enrollment numbers weren't showing us that we would need 6 teachers. But our second grade numbers were showing us that instead of 5, we might need 6. So we went ahead behind the scenes and adjusted some things that were in place so no children's schedules will be changed at all. We started this year with 5 kindergarten teachers, 6 first grade teachers, 6 second grade teachers, 6 third grade teachers, 5 fourth grade teachers, and 5 fifth grade teachers. Fulton County did not reallocate us an additional 4th grade teacher. While that will make it difficult in funding because our budgets are very small here in elementary school land, we are committed in our school governance council. We talked about this all spring. Our class sizes would have been at 30 or higher by the end of the year, and we felt it very important to keep class sizes as much as possible below 30. So we went ahead and took that money and invested in that 5th, 4th grade teacher. So the numbers you're seeing on the screen are not going to change as far as allocations for staff. As enrollment numbers increase throughout the year, we'll update you on those numbers. I also want to take a moment. EOG scores are back. All parents should have received an EOG score report for your student. If you are having trouble reading that report and it's not quite clear to you, please let me know. Me or one of my staff would be happy to help you interpret that. But we had some real celebrations. We increased the percentage of 3rd graders reading at or above grade level. There is a lot of research to say that 3rd graders who are reading on or above grade level will have a lot of success in the upcoming years. It also impacts their math scores. So we work really hard in our building using units of study and the best practices we have, such as Orton Gillingham, for our lower grades, so that we can ensure any kindergarten, 1st grade, or 2nd grader who's reading below grade level, by the time they end 3rd grade, we would like 100% of our students reading on or above grade level. We're at 78% right now and looking for that to raise every year. We had some great gains in our math class in third grade. 100% of our third graders passed math. We are so excited about that. And as you can see, we had some celebrations in fourth grade. Fifth grade had some celebrations. We're working on getting those scores as complete as possible, and we'll be updating you with a more complete score report as soon as we have those reports in a more readable format. I also want to spotlight our non-academic side. Our music program is doing very well. Our media center is partnering with the Milton Library. We're increasing some literacy initiatives throughout our building. Our Advanced Strategies Lab will be in its second year this year. That class is doing very well. We're very excited about the things to come. So we hope that you will always ask your children how they're doing in school, what's their favorite subjects, and I'll keep updating you on those celebrations as they come along. It is a great place to learn here, and we are so happy to have you at Summit Hill. What are we going to work on in 2019-20 with all those celebrations that we had from 2018 and 19? We're going to continue our working growth mindset. We introduced that to our parents last year. Our teachers are being trained in growth mindset. In a nutshell, growth mindset is a way for students not to get caught up in failing. So we want them to know that wrong answers are just another it's just, we get to try again. It's not a failure. It's not something to be upset about. We're hoping that we can reduce some of the anxiety in elementary school, that will carry over to middle and high, where we know students are, in both our feeder programs, are very high achieving, and stress becomes a very real worry for parents and students. So we are doing what we can at the elementary school level to make that stress non-existent. So we do a lot with mindfulness and helping children calm themselves down. Our Leader in Me habits are preparing them to be leaders in the next century. Our academics on all grade levels are solid. If you have any questions about any of those, I would encourage you to reach out to me, Mrs. Burns, my assistant principal, or our curriculum instructional teacher, Mrs. Herring. She can also fill you in on some of the things that are going on. So what can you do at home to support your students? Read with them every single day. One of the most important things we can do for children is to establish a love of reading. And we also need to build stamina. So by the time third grade rolls around, we need students to be able to read without stopping for 35 to 40 minutes. We work on that all along. So kindergarten parents, no worries if they can only, you can only hold their attention for about 10 minutes. Our teachers are experts in that, and they'll be giving you helpful tips along the way. Just also remember the partnership between you and us at Summit Hill is very important to us, and we hope that it becomes a very meaningful relationship for you and your child. Always let us know how we can help you. We take the responsibility of your child very seriously, and if you ever have concerns or questions, you can always reach out to me, Bearden L at fultonschools.org, or my assistant principal, Mrs. Burns, at burnsmb at fultonschools.org. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. It will be posted on the Summit Hill website. And again, if you have any questions at all, please always reach out. Thank you for choosing Summit Hill as the place for your children.